What's going on, guys? Chris here again, back from a different location in my humble abode, which would be my bedroom. A little more light in here, a little more natural light, so hopefully that it'll look a little better. I don't know, there's not much I can do to, pretty my face up, but maybe this will be a little bit better. So this will be another collection update, as you can see by the title, if you read the title. This one might be a little longer than what you're accustomed to. I try to keep my videos like 20 minutes or under, because it's a big commitment to sit there and watch something for, 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes to an hour. Me personally, I get invested. I will watch, when you guys put out longer videos, I watch the whole thing. But I know that I might be the minority for that. So I try to keep mine a little shorter, but this one might run a little bit longer because I'm going to run through some more stuff than I normally do. And a lot of these are just like groups of like albums by one band. So maybe it won't be as long as I'm thinking, but this is just a warning in case this video does, run a little bit longer than that would be the reason why. And I need a haircut so bad. Holy shit. All right. So the first thing I've got is 4 albums by one particular band. I ended up striking, this was like maybe 2 months ago at this point, but I was talking with some dude on eBay, and he was selling some certain lots on eBay, so I messaged him, see, if he could send me a list of maybe what he's looking to post or what he might be posting in the future or whatnot. And he cut me some really good deals, like so much so that I was like kind of surprised. Like he might not know what some of his stuff would be going for. But anyways, so the first little group I have is by a band called Hellstar, which I'm sure most of you know about. I wouldn't say, legendary is kind of a word that gets thrown out around a lot. Maybe not legendary, but very well known. Old school heavy metal, speed metal, whatever you want to call it, almost power metal-y in a way. Yeah, so a band that took me a while to get into. The vocals kind of took a while to grow on me, similar to Merciful Fate or King Diamond stuff. Took me a while to get into, but if you're having issues like getting into it, it's very much a love it or hate it kind of thing. Almost when it came to Merciful Fate, I like forced myself to listen to it because I wanted to understand why people loved them so much. And all of a sudden it just clicked with me. I don't know why. Honestly, like years of like putting them on and like turning it right off, I'm like, I just can't listen to this. It finally grew on me. So I got 4 Hellstar albums. So I've got Nosferatu, which I'm pretty sure was the only album I knew of them before I got this lot. This is the only one I had really heard of, which is a really good album. It's my personal favorite out of their discography. Then I've got Burning Star, which is another really good one. Another really good album. I've only listened to it a few times since I've got it. Like I said, it's been a couple months. I've listened to all of these like a few times. But this one was probably my second favorite, honestly, if I was ranking them. A Distant Thunder, which I think the cover kind of sucks. I don't think it's really representative of what's on the album. But yeah, the album itself is really good, but the cover is just kind of cheesy in my opinion. I don't know. It's like, I don't know if it's coming through. It's like this like purpley, whatever. It's like a hair metal cover, and they look very hair metal-y on the back, if you can see. Without that stupid glare. And then the last one I've got is Remnants of War, which is probably the one I listened to the least so far, but it's a pretty, if I remember correctly, I enjoyed it quite a bit. After I got used to this dude's vocals, like, the music itself was really good. And it was the same thing with Merciful Fate when I started getting into them. The music itself was like, it blew me away. Like, I was looking to try to find like just Merciful Fate instrumentals for a long time, like just on YouTube, because like the musicianship blew me away, but the dude's vocals were just nails on a chalkboard. But now, I don't know if it's like an age thing, getting older, more mature, have a little more patience with music. I've, gotten accustomed to Merciful Fate and King Diamond, and Hellstar would be among that. So the next thing I've got is two from one band, the band Sinister. It's like an old school death metal band I'm sure all of you are familiar with. Just a couple holes that I had in my collection, which I believe now will end my yearning for Sinister albums. I've got Aggressive Measures, which is a really good one, and Afterburner, which is another really good one. It's like these weird gold disc, like limited edition things. I don't know. They like randomly popped up on Amazon, I think, of all places. I don't know if there was like a small repress that they did of those or something, but they were pretty dirt cheap on Amazon. I got them a few months ago, so sometimes every once in a while Amazon's good for coming through. But the only thing I hate about buying off of Amazon is the shipping, which I'm sure many of you have the same issues. I will not buy vinyl on Amazon. I've had records come absolutely smashed to fuck from Amazon. CDs, the same thing. They ship them in like these little mailers, and it's not bubble wrap. I don't know what they consider it, but it's like these weird like pieces of cardboard, like little circles of cardboard. I don't know. I don't know what like material it is. Can you be quiet? But yeah, it's the CDs. If it's a jewel case, 99% of the time it's cracked, no matter what. I have zero luck. I don't know if it's just my drivers or if it's just the Amazon way. They just don't. I'm sure they're understaffed. I'm sure, every place is right now, so I'm sure they're just trying to get, stuff out there. I can kind of get it, and I know that's maybe not the best company to work for, but you'd still like to get your stuff in good condition, if you could, and it don't usually from Amazon. But that being said, sometimes every once in a while they'll have like some really like underground or just hard to find shit of just out of nowhere. So it's good to check every once in a while. Not saying that it's they always come through, but they do get some good stuff. The next thing I've got is a band called Coffin Rot, with the album. It's the demos. I'm sorry, my bad. It's Dawn of Decay. It's a bunch of It's a demo collection. It's kind of, I wouldn't call it straight up death doom, but it's kind of it reminded me a lot of like early Autopsy, this album. It's just that old school death metal sound that so many bands are doing now that it's like so hard to keep up with. But it did remind me a bit of Autopsy. That's the one thing that struck me as I listened to it. It's a really good album. It's some good demos on there. The next thing I've got, if my buddy Austin is watching, he knows how long I've been holding on to some of this stuff, because I talked about this with him when I finally picked it up. But this is Cobalt Gin. I've probably had this thing for like 3 months now, and I haven't showed it. I've listened to this thing so many times. I had never heard of it until I was reading some article about, just digging through, trying to find some new stuff to listen to. And it was someone ranking some, I forget if it was like post-2000s black metal albums. Something weird, some little stupid little article that I found. And this was on there, and the cover kind of drew me in. Didn't look like your typical black metal album. And same with the back. I don't know what the back is supposed to be, like what that's representative of. This thing is awesome. I don't have enough words to say how good this album is. If you're not familiar with it, I would go check it out right away. Came in 2009, which is kind of a weird year for, I don't think there was much going on in those eras. I think it was just a lot of, deathcore, metalcore stuff in that time period. So I'm sure a lot of that kind of stuff probably flew under the radar for a lot of people. You have to dig through a lot of shit to find stuff like that. But that's really good stuff. Next thing I got in here is this really grimy death metal shit. Casket Slime, Enter the Casket. I got also, speaking of Austin, I got this off of him, I believe. And this stuff is like grimy, like gas station fucking borderline brutal death metal at points. It's just dirty, grimy, just gross. The cover is pretty much what you're gonna get on here. The name, Casket Slime, it's just the perfect package for that, you know, what you think you're gonna get from that. Kind of more on the lo-fi side. I don't know if that'll turn some people off, but it almost has that feeling of the old school sound without trying to sound old school, if that makes any sense to any of you. I feel like a lot of bands were genuinely like tried too hard, especially when it comes to black metal. Death metal, not so much, but bands that are trying to just mimic that second wave black metal sound, like just trying to sound like Dark Throne. It's too much sometimes, and it's overkill. And it's almost become like its own genre as it is, like just super lo-fi. Like you sound like it was recorded on like one of those stereos you had when, at least in my age, when I was a kid, those things from Toy Story. With the little microphone in it, the little boombox, the white boombox with the face on it. It sounds like the shit was recorded on that. And I just can't do that. It's just too much lo-fi. It's like to the point where I can't even hear the instruments, like, and I can't pick apart certain things. It's just noise. But that being said, that's a rant for another time. Next two things I've got. This might, and there's another band in here in this stack that's might be the same scenario, but it might shock people to know that I've never really listened to this band at all, because I'm not really a power metal guy whatsoever. I'm trying to really get into it. I can't do the really corny stuff, you know, like fucking fighting wizards and dragons and shit. Like, I can't do that, at least not yet. But so this is my first step into power metal. I would say this is probably entry level power metal, but Helloween. So I have Keeper of the Seven Keys 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure I haven't listened to them yet. Honestly, I've only heard like Helloween in passing. Like, I know the hits, from whether that be from because I believe my father had a couple of these albums, or a different Helloween album. So I've heard some Helloween shit, but I've never really got into them. My thing with power metal is usually not so much the instrumentals, while they can be really cheesy and corny and like galloping on a unicorn kind of shit. Helloween doesn't seem like that to me, but it's not, that doesn't bother me as much as the vocals do. I think the vocals are always like way too cheesy. I don't know if you guys have power metal suggestions for someone like me who's into harder stuff. Like, maybe, like, I want to get into it, but I want to ease myself into it. Like, maybe some power metal bands that have like blackened elements, or like gruffer vocals, or just something different than like the usual power metal shit you can find. I say the only like wicked power metal band that I have any kind of spot for in my heart is just because when I was a kid, you know, Guitar Hero was like the biggest thing in the world. So Dragon Force, they just can't, it's like a guilty pleasure. So even bands that might be, you know, parallel to Dragon Force, something that will, I don't know, that'll just connect with me. So I'm just, you know, grasping at straws, just trying to find something that I'll get into. Yeah, so send me your recommendations for anything power metal. Next, what I got on here is the Dead Kennedys, Frankenchrist. Nothing needs to be said about Dead Kennedys. This is great punk shit. I think everybody knows Dead Kennedys. Yeah, what can you say? It was just a hole in my collection. Okay, next thing I've got is Baptism, Devil's Fire. Or, yeah, the Devil's Fire. This is some awesome fucking borderline black thrash, if you want to call it thrash. Not so much thrash, but just in your face fucking blast beats. Awesome stuff. Really, really awesome stuff. And then I got Demon, Night of the Demon. This is some new wave of British heavy metal stuff right here. Sorry, I was distracted by that fucking awesome cover. One of the best album covers ever, in my opinion. Yeah, I believe it comes with, I don't know if it's some kind of EP or something, but it has some bonus tracks on it. I don't know what edition this is, but it comes with, or it's just re-recordings or some shit like that. I don't know. This is awesome stuff. Again, another one, classic of the genre. Don't need to say much about that. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you suck. It's got a little bit more of an edge to it, which is what I appreciate in my, you know, new wave of British heavy metal bands. Like, that'd be another thing. Give me recommendations on stuff like that. Like, something with like an edge to it. I don't know. Demon just does it for me in ways that other bands of that genre and time period just kind of don't. Next thing I've got is Angel Witch, Angel of Light. Keeping along that kind of same, like, you know, old school heavy metal sound. This came out just a couple years ago. It's a great album. Next thing I've got is, I'm gonna butcher this because I don't know how to say the band's name or the album titles. Drook. I don't know. I have no fucking clue how you're supposed to say it. This is Blood in Our Wells, and this one is Microcosmos. Big fan of Drook. What the fuck you say that? I don't know. Big fan of them. They are some awesome black metal. It's kind of like, you know, going for a walk in the forest kind of black metal. Just like kind of at times peaceful, at times it's just relaxing to listen to. Which for a fan, someone who's not a fan of black metal, you probably would hear that and you're like, how can you relax to that? But for us weirdos, we can. Okay, the next little group of albums I've got, quite a big stack actually. So how I was saying about Halloween, this is a band that I've yet to get into, and some people probably be like, how could you not ever listen to this band? I don't know. They're a band that's never crossed paths with me, for whatever reason, and that being Fate's Warning. So that same guy I got a bunch of shit from, the Hellstar stuff. He sold me a little bundle of Fate's Warning stuff. And also these I have listened to, and I've dug quite a bit actually. So I guess the singer, Ray Adler, I believe is his name, his side project, Engine. I got these two albums, was it Superholic? And I believe it's just self-titled. This one's actually really good. I really enjoyed both of these, really. But I got into those first, just, I don't know if there's any particular reason. I guess in my mind I was thinking it's probably going to be a very different sound than what I'm going to get from Fate's Warning. And I don't want to get some kind of attachment to Fate's Warning before I check that out and be like, well, that's, you know, so different from, you know, what he's done. Like, I just wanted to listen to that objectively, so I checked that one out first. So for Fate's Warning, I have Still Life. And if you guys want to tell me, like, which of these Fate's Warning albums are worth, you know, really digging into, or if some are kind of shitty, let me know. But that's Still Life. This is just X or 10 maybe, I'm not sure. Then I've got No Exit, which this one is one that I've seen that cover before. I've never listened to it, or maybe I have, but I just don't remember, but I've definitely seen that cover. Then I've got Disconnected. I've got A Pleasant Shade of Grey. Night on Brocken, which I don't know if that's a live, it must be a live album, it would have to be. And The Spectre Within, which is another one I've definitely seen that album cover in places. So yeah, let me know what your guys' recommendations are for Fate's Warning. Like I said, I haven't really ever gotten into them, so it's nice when you find a band that's been around for a long time that's like you're just now digging into, because there's just so much stuff for you to, if you would dig it, so much stuff to explore. So the next thing I've got, it's only a couple more things. This is another one, I'm not exactly sure how to say it. Erectation, no idea. It's a collection of demos. It's called The Fumes of Putrefaction. This is really awesome stuff. This is a band, I'm not really sure. I believe that they just recently released all these recordings that they had saved up from a couple years. I think it was 92 to 95. Not quite sure why they didn't make it. One thing I noticed while I was listening to it, and this could be very well why they didn't make it, or they broke up or whatever, you know, the case may be, is that there was like every single sound of like extreme metal on this thing. Like there was bits that were, you know, for the most part, the overtone is death metal, you know, like thrashy death metal, but there was elements of melodic death metal, groove. There was some groove metal in there. There's like, and then the stuff that's like borderline like tech death. I don't know. This thing was all over the place for me in a good way, but I'm thinking maybe it wasn't enough to grab certain people, that it was just too all over the place. I'm guessing. I don't know. But that was really great stuff. I highly recommend that that release. I don't know. I don't think they have anything else. I think that's literally all the recordings. And then the last 3 I got are 3 from Exodus, which complete my Exodus collection. So I've got Another Lesson in Violence, which is a really awesome live album. Not sure what year it came out. 97? That doesn't seem right. Maybe it is. But yeah, really good live album. Then I've got Impact is Imminent, which is a classic. Not my favorite by them. In fact, it's probably towards the bottom, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, I don't know. It's not that I don't like it. That's the problem with ranking bands that you really enjoy, is that, you know, people just assume that if an album's not in like your top 3, then you don't like it. It's not true. This probably wouldn't even make my top 5 Exodus, and yet I love it. So, and this one, which probably would make my top 5, the Atrocity Exhibition, Exhibit A. This is going to be really controversial, and this is probably a generational thing and not growing up with Exodus. I very much prefer, you know, like 2000 on than their 80s and 90s stuff. It's just so heavy, it's so bass heavy, it's so, the vocals are so raw. I don't know, I think their latest stuff is their best. I don't know. Like I said, it could be because I didn't grow up with some of the stuff. And this is some of the stuff I heard first. I'm trying to think of the first Exodus album that I heard. Is it Shovel-Headed Kill Machine? Whatever the fuck the name of that album is, some weird name like that. Like I said, I'm terrible with album names. When I think of an album, I see the cover in my head. I can't, like, the names, they just escape me. It's probably because, like, some of the names of the bands and the albums are just so fucking ridiculous that I can never remember. But that's my stack for today. I think that was a good, like, 25 or so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's got to be at least 25 that I just did. There's probably going to be another video just like this with the same, or roughly maybe a little more albums. And I'm looking at my phone right here. It's 23 minutes, so I didn't go too long, which is a good thing. I didn't want to go too long. Hey. I feel like he hasn't been, you know, he's getting more used to me talking to the wall, I think, lately, so that he doesn't come over and see what's going on. So here he is for anybody who's missed him. Yeah, I know. So that's all I got for you. Like I said, be on the lookout for another one of these coming really soon. I got a couple other things coming as well. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think that's it. Just stick around. If you like it, give me a like, give me a sub. If you don't like it, tell me I suck, dislike it. I appreciate that as well. Yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.